So things are changing pretty fast in Canada, and within my own city of Winnipeg, Manitoba, I already see some of the first signs of it. There's this park that is being named, and it's actually being named after the founder of Pakistan, right? Some Muslim leader, and it didn't really get much attention. I didn't really hear much about it, but I'm just hearing about it now, and it's like, I pay attention to a lot of other things that are happening in more of Canada and America all over the world, and sometimes you miss things that go right underneath your nose, right? And you're like, really, Canada, we're literally the first city to do this. And I'll read some of the article because some of the quotes in there just kind of alarmed me a little bit. But Canada, Pakistan's High Commissioner to Canada, Tariq Azim Khan, has inaugurated the first ever Muhammad Ali Jinnah Park at Winnipeg, Manitoba on Sunday. Addressing the occasion, the High Commissioner said that the credit goes to the vibrant Pakistani community, Canadian community in Manitoba for succeeding in naming a first ever public park in North America country to be named after Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan. This was poorly written. Hundreds of people across Canada attended the ceremony, says a press release. He paid glowing tributes to the great sacrifices rendered by their founding fathers in order to have a separate homeland for Muslims in the subcontinent. So, we're setting up a thing to pay tribute to the founding fathers of Muslims. Like, are you fucking kidding me? This is ridiculous. Like, the other month, the founder of Canada, John A. Macdonald, had his what they believe to be his home demolished. It wasn't even classified as a historic center, and they just demolished it. Nobody talked about it. Like, I heard about it through some like random news site, like CBC and all this shit. Like, if they did, they talked about it, sparsely, and it's like nobody gives a shit about that. Our actual founding fathers, and now they're just being like, usurped, changed by other cultures. Because according to Trudeau, Canada doesn't really have its own culture. Immigrants are more Canadian than actual Canadians, right? And he's setting up the mindset for people to just be taken over eventually. So then we're all a bunch of different cultures, and just by proxy of just groups being tribalistic by nature, the more groups that you pack into a space, the more power that these people will have, because they'll be able to pit these groups against one another, and then they could always have control of everybody. And like, they can create tension between these groups by giving some more to one, giving less to another. And people are dumb, so instead of looking at the establishment and what they're doing, they're looking at other people and be like, well, why are you getting more than me? Well, this and that, right? So this is kind of like maybe what they're doing right now in Winnipeg. It's like, here, we'll give these parks to these Muslims, we'll demolish some of these people's shit and their culture, their history, say that it's bad, say that it's demonized. Like, they're trying to take off John A. Macdonald's name from universities and stuff because he was for residential schools and all this shit. It's like, who the fuck cares? Everybody in history what did something bad, right? And in 50 years, some of the shit that we think is just regular and good and stuff will probably be considered bad too. So then, everything that you accomplish right now, you're like, oh, hopefully history looks good on me now. If they believe like you, you'll be considered a monster because you, like, I don't know, eat meat or something like that. But nonetheless, it's like, I'll keep reading the article because it gets a little bit more ridiculous. But he paid glowing tribute to the great sacrifices, rendered by his Muslim, high commander. The High Commissioner, while appreciating the struggle of the Pakistani community, referred to some quote, blah, blah, yada, yada, yada. He said that the community of Winnipeg is promoting and showcasing Pakistani culture and soft image through holdings of cultural galas and they are acting as a bridge and promoting understanding between these communities. So they're going to be holding cultural galas and all this shit and trying to promote, yeah, understanding between these communities. But it's like, I guess that's not a terrible thing. It's like, sure, I'll go there, and maybe if you're cooking some food, I'll eat some of it. And I'm not averse to learning about other cultures and shit, but I do kind of have an issue of naming a park after a Muslim fucking leader, a Pakistani fucking leader. And no offense, but all the gangs in the UK and a lot of these child grooming gangs happen to be from Pakistan. So I'm not sure this is the community that we necessarily want to be bringing into Canada. I'm not saying they're all rapists. They all do grooming gangs. Every one of them is an evil person. Clearly not. There's clearly tons of great Pakistani people in this shit, right? But if their culture does have a higher propensity to maybe do these things, then maybe it's not a good idea to bring them over and start promoting their culture and praising their leaders and their founding fathers instead of praising our founding fathers of fucking Canada, right? Their founding fathers, the ones it's funny, the SJWs should be freaking out about this too, because who knows what this guy was for and what the fuck he did compared to our founding fathers. Probably did a lot worse shit. So you could say we're horrible, but they overlook other people. And it goes on. He said the community in Winnipeg, he's like, Dr. Rashid Bari, community leader who led the campaign for Jinnah Park, said Muhammad Ali Jinnah is closer to the heart of people of Pakistan, and this park will remind our future generations about our great leader. So it's like, our great leader? It's like, he's no longer your leader. You are in Canada now. Your leaders are who we fucking vote to be your leaders. That's who it is. But this is the problem. When you're bringing in a bunch of different cultures, they still have allegiances to their own country. Like, unless they stay here for a couple generations, and even then a lot of the times they don't. It takes a little while for people to assimilate. And the way that things are working now, it takes a lot longer for people to assimilate. Because they can self-segregate. They can just only watch Mexican or Spanish TV, only interact with Spanish people. So yeah, you're going to have a bunch of cultures that are not going to mingle because they're not forced to integrate, because you're bringing in way too many fucking people. And this is a sign of it, like they should be praising our founding fathers and shit. No, fuck your founding fathers. I don't give a shit about yours, honestly. And this is taxpayer dollars paying for this. This is taxpayer dollars going into cleaning up these galas and shit. And we're not promoting our own culture. We should be promoting our culture to immigrants coming into Canada. They should be trying to integrate into us. We shouldn't be trying to integrate into their culture, right? They should be learning how to fucking speak English, and obviously everybody who's coming to Canada knows how to speak English, but not really as much in America. But they need to be learning how to integrate into our culture. And if we keep doing the things that we're doing now under Trudeau, we will look like America. We will look like the Spanish community is in the south of America, where there's like in Miami and shit, they just speak Spanish. And they don't need to speak fucking English. In California and stuff, same thing. They don't need to speak English to get a job. They need to speak Spanish. So it's like, no, this is not good. We should be supporting our own founding fathers, not yours. And who cares about your fucking great leaders? And Master Khan, President PSA Manitoba, said that today is a historic day for Pakistanis in Canada. And naming a park after Muhammad Ali Jinnah name shows how much migrant Pakistanis love the founder of Pakistan. It's like, what the hell? See, and these people, they'll always refer to themselves as Pakistani. They'll never refer to themselves as fully Canadian because, like I said, they do not have allegiance to Canada. You need people in your country that have allegiance to your country. This way people don't fuck each other over as much. You need slower integration if you're gonna have fucking what do you call it, immigration. It needs to be way less people like, but the reason they're doing this is pretty much to pay for the social programs that everybody is fucking addicted to, right? So we kind of gotta get off our own addictions to the government as well to help stop a lot of this immigration, because this is what they're using as justification to keep bringing people in. Like, oh well, we need to bring these people in to prop up the economy to pay for this, and that. And in some retrospects, they're correct, because we're dependent on the government for all these different things that they're telling us that they're going to pay us for. But when I get old, we're not going to have the same things that my parents, like the pensions and shit that they're getting, right? So a lot of this money is just a Ponzi scheme that they're just hoping everybody keeps paying into, and they keep bringing more people. So the Ponzi scheme keeps fucking going as long as they can fucking keep it going, right? Until it all fucking crumbles. But it goes a little bit longer. Terry Duguid and Iraq Khalik, members of Canadian Parliament, also addresses the ceremony and congratulates the Pakistani community achieving this milestone. Like, I don't know how it's a fucking milestone anyways. Like, this is a milestone to name a fucking park. How did they achieve this milestone? We let you achieve this milestone. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's our own cuckery and stupidity. I guess it's a milestone. Maybe to them it's like, yeah, just another 100 years and a third of this country is going to be ours. It's going to be Sharia law and shit everywhere. I know I sound hyperbolic, but if their culture doesn't change, which the way that the speed at which immigration is going and stuff, which it's not going to change if it keeps going this way, then that's what will probably happen. Because why would they change their culture? They don't need to. What is the point? The point is having them come to Canada and adapting to our culture, not the reverse. But then the city councillor Janice Luke said on the occasion that she is very happy to work with the Pakistani community for the maintenance of the park to make it worthwhile for families to visit and hold cultural galas in the park. She announced preparing a cricket game, whatever. So it's like, yeah, see, the city is going to fund it, and granted, it's just a park. It's probably not going to cost too fucking much at the very least, but still, I'm against this. I'm not going to go and protest, but this should be kind of a wake-up call to some Canadians that, hey, your monuments are being attacked as well. People think it was just happening in America, but that sparked a lot of other shit. And in Canada, it happened. In Europe, there's all these SJWs in Canada be like, oh, we need to take down this because this guy supported these residential schools that put natives in this. We got to take down this, blah, blah, blah. And then they succeeded in a lot of different, attempts, right? So it's like, fuck, man. This is just another step towards Canada being a fucking mismatch of a bunch of fucking different cultures, and they're eventually going to just erupt and start like vying for control of one another through the state or the government. And when the state or the government collapses, you're gonna have a bunch of different fucking groups that have tribalistic tendencies vying for resources and trying to survive. And then it's going to get fucking bad and bloody for everybody. And I'm not promoting violence or anything like that. But that is what I see is going to happen eventually, with just, the destruction of our currency, of the money, and just the system. The system just cannot continue. We can't just keep importing people to prop up the fucking GDP, to prop up fucking the coffers of the government. It's not going to work forever. Eventually it's going to burst. And I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's going to happen eventually. Unless we wake up and try to steer the course the other fucking way. And I'm not saying deport everybody. I'm not alt-right. I'm not saying we need to have a white ethno state, anything like that. But like, I do think retaining a majority, though, is more or less necessary in the country, though. I think that at least having a majority of white people in the country and having it more that way is better and more sustainable because, it's not to be racist or anything like that, but that's just the case. That's just the way it is. So we got to accept that fact and, at the very least, try to integrate the people that are here or something, and try to, I think just because things have not been done in the past and things are don't seem possible doesn't mean they are impossible. I think that there is a possibility of changing people's minds and turning them into more smaller government oriented because there are we all don't trust the government. Like if you can ask a lefty or a righty or this or that, like depending on who's in the government, they'll be like, yeah, I trust that guy. But you ask them about certain conspiracies, regardless of their orientation of ideology, they're like, yeah, the government does do this and they are shady, and yeah, I can believe they do that. Like it is, we do all at least mistrust the government. So there is some common ground that maybe we can attain someday. And like, the whole Scott Adams thing, it's like thinking history repeats itself. That is sometimes the case, I think, but we can make a new future. We can do things that have not been done before. Like with the advent of technology and all these things, these do change things. The internet does change things. It gets people to see another light of people, to get more intimate with people, and to understand each other better if we can use it properly. But that's if we use it properly, right? But nonetheless, that's all I pretty much had to say. I'm against this park, obviously, but I guess there's not really too much that's going to be done about it. I'm not going to go spray paint and do anything, try to vandalize it or anything like that. But yeah, it's just a sign of the changing times, and it's happening within my own fucking city, which is a little frightening to some extent, right? But if you like my content, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and check out the links below to follow me on Minds and Gab and whatnot. But that's all I pretty much had to say, so take it easy.